Today, we're not bringing you a typical review of this Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. We've done that already. You can click the link up here to watch Jim's review of the hybrid. But today, me, Adam and Nat, the guy behind the camera, we are going to attempt to go to Penang and back on one tank of fuel. Boleh ke bro?
Well, based on what the car can do, I think we should be able to do it. I mean, Penang is roughly around 600 kilometers and this car going to Toyota can do that in one fuel tank. 36 litres, so yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I suppose what's written on paper though, we want to find out if that translates in real life.
This is what we try to do, the acid test, to see whether claim and real life test is accurate.
Okay, so we're going to try and remove as many human interventions as possible.
Correct.
So we'll use the DRCC,
we're gonna
follow highway speeds.
We're going to try doing the lane assist, switch on all the safety gear, and yeah.
So we have the claim mileage of 4.3 litres per 100 kilometers for the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. We're going to round that up to 5 litres per 100 kilometers just to, you know, add in a bit of a buffer for the fact that when we start go traffic, different speeds as we enter the highway. So we'll round it up to 5 litres per 100 kilometers. Okay, so the distance, or I should say not total, but the distance from where we're going to start to our location in Georgetown will be 353 kilometers. So of course, back and forth will be 2, but we can ignore that for now. We know the full fuel tank size of the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid is 36 litres. Our consumption, as I mentioned, we're going to round it up to 5 litres per 100 kilometers. So based on that math, right, if 5 divided by 100 times 353, we should be using 17.65 litres one way, right? Of course, bear in mind we're going to be following highway speeds at 110, using the DRCC to eliminate as much human intervention as possible, which technically should mean that our trip from KL, Penang, and back to KL should only use 33.5 litres, right? And we have 36. So we have a buffer of 0.7 litres, not taking into account that we might be doing some driving around Penang. So the question that remains is that on paper, technically yes, we can do it, but in reality, is that going to be the case? Let's find out. So Adam, fuel brimmed?
Tire pressure is
Checked.
Counter reset?
Counter reset, yes. So we're just looking to hit the highway, start cruising on the way to Penang. We'll give you periodic updates as we go along. We don't know where our first stop's going to be, but we will check to see if we are tracking well to complete this challenge of going from KL, Penang and back to KL on one tank of fuel on the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid.
Alright, so now Ferdy, we've hit the open road. I can switch on the dynamic radar cruise control. So it's as simple as this button here, and then set, and then I'll set my speed to the speed limit, and off we just go.
Okay, so we're in Tapah at the moment. Took us about 2 hours or so to get here. We've been keeping the speed a constant, 110 on the highway. We've got the DRCC turned on. So until now, based on what we just checked, we are tracking at 4.86 litres per 100 kilometers. Which, if you remember, earlier we had said we were going to keep the consumption at 5 litres per 100 kilometers. So we seem to still be on track to fulfill our experiment, our objective today. But let's see lah when we reach Penang what happens.
Alright, Freddie, thank you for taking the driver's seat.
You're welcome. You had to eat, right? So
Yeah, of course, of course. And also, I want you to experience a few things in this car. That's what makes this car really, really good.
Right.
So
the first thing I want to point out, right, is that this very clear, crystal clear, regardless of the light that shines into the car. This is what, 9-inch infotainment screen?
That is a 9-inch infotainment screen with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So
yeah, so I appreciate. I mean, let's be honest. The de facto standard these days is Android Auto, Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
So nothing out of the world there.
Yeah.
But I suppose when I plugged it in, immediately picked up my phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got me my navigation, got me my music. So I suppose in that sense it's seamless.
It is seamless, foolproof. You just plug it in and there you
That's
go.
nice,
It
yeah.
works straight away, and then you can just press your Spotify down here, get your maps up and running, quick time. So yeah, that's good. But
I must also, however, comment the fact that this DRCC is quite wonderful, man. Because we are doing this fuel challenge, right, or this fuel consumption thing. Like you said earlier, like you explained earlier, you activate it, set the distance you want to follow the car in front, set the speed you want to follow, and yeah, you have to have your hand on the steering wheel. Yes, of course, right?
Yeah.
But everything else, it's you
yeah.
know,
It's almost like you are in a trance and you're just following the car.
Yeah.
But which is a good thing, you know. Sometimes you're in a trance, you need some sort of support for the steering, which is why the lane.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't lull yourself into this false sense of, you know, I suppose if you fall asleep or anything. But yeah, you know, it's this. It works quite flawlessly. I mean, I cannot fault it for not doing what it's supposed to be doing this far. You know?
And because you're like relaxing, then you get to experience this whole ambience of the cabin, right? What are you saying there? It feels really, really quiet in here, refined. The NVH is very, very good in this car.
Which to me is, to be fair, quite. I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, I suppose. You know, because like you said, we can have a conversation at regular levels, not have to scream above any tire roar or any wind noise that's shuffling past the car, or even the engine noise. It's quite a comfortable place to be in.
Yeah, it's like that's why like some people when they drive this car, they'll almost forget like, is the engine on? And that's like traveling at speeds. But even like at slow speeds during like start-stop traffic where the electric power kicks in, it's totally serene in here, and it's really one of the qualities of this car that I really appreciate too.
Oh no, I definitely agree. You know, especially if you're carrying a family and your kids are sleeping in the back, you know, you definitely appreciate the fact that it's so quiet. It buffets you in that zone of, you know, without exterior noise intruding into the cabin. So yeah, I mean, I'm still excited to see at what fuel level we reach Penang in. Okay, because I'm looking at the fuel gauge now. It's moved, it's dropped, obviously, right? We are in Ipoh at the moment, so yes, it has dropped. But I'd be keen to see when we reach Penang where we are at.
Yep, definitely. So we'll catch you in a few moments and give you an update of what's going on with the fuel situation.
Yeah. Okay, so we are in Penang. We've reached, we're getting on the bridge. If I look at the fuel gauge, it's just above half, which means technically that we should be able to do the return trip without refueling, right? So fingers crossed that that will be the case. Yeah, so we're just the iconic bridge as we cross into the island.
Bro, by the way, what is it about Penang? Is it just me or is it always hot in here?
No, it's you.
Huh?
It's you.
Well,
but we've got the dual zone.
Okay, great. So I can turn my temperature down because I'm feeling hot, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you know that's going to affect fuel consumption, right?
Okay, I won't. Okay. But you know, we're nearly our place now. So come on, this is really hot.
Yeah, okay.
But come on, Toyota gave us this for a reason, right? You know.
I mean, Yeah, I suppose you've got dual zone air conditioning, so you know.
Yeah.
We must also speak about obviously the drive, how it feels like to drive this the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, because I think, okay, so we've had it mostly with the dynamic radar cruise control, so very little human intervention.
Yeah.
We've kept it at 110 kilometers. I think, as we mentioned earlier, because of that, to me, I've driven the second leg, obviously. I'm comfortable in the car, being in the driver's seat. I'm not fatigued. Been about 2 hours now, I think I've been driving, you know. Legs are nicely comfortable, hands are properly situated, you know. As a driver, I've got no complaints really. I think it's a really comfortable place to be in. The driving with the hybrid and the engine combination, when it kicks in, again, it's quite imperceptible. Like, you don't really realize when it kicks in. Yeah. And of course, we've been using the DRCC, and that helps as well.
I think now that we're entering Georgetown, where it's a little bit busy,
yeah,
you will start to feel that EV-ish part of the car a bit more.
Right, because at lower crawling speeds, right? Okay.
So that experience also in itself is something that makes this car great.
Yeah. No, I think from the journey that we've had so far to come here, it's hard to, I think, to pick something to be negative about or critical about really with the Corolla Cross, especially for the purposes of this trip, you know, which was to see if we could make it to Penang and back to KL with one tank of fuel. Yeah. So if, again, like I said, if I look at my fuel gauge now, it's still hovering above the half. Yep. Technically, I suppose it means we should be able to.
Yeah, even the computer's calculation of the fuel consumption is still as predicted as we calculated earlier. So
right.
We haven't reached the 5.
Yep, exactly. So those, I think, tell us that we should be able to do it. But I suppose that can only be answered tomorrow once we get back to KL, really. Georgetown, we are here. Woohoo! We are parked. So based on the calculation that we saw just now, we are returning 4.67 litres per 100 kilometers.
Yeah, which is still under the 5 that we discussed earlier.
Correct, right? Which means that we should be able to go back home to KL tomorrow without having to refuel the car.
Yes.
Okay, which means in technical, I suppose, generally it means that lah, okay? Yeah. For now, we're gonna walk around Georgetown. It's a nice sunny day.
Look for some food. Penang.
It's been a while,
yeah.
You know, so let's go.
All right.
So berapa liter dalam boot Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid ni? How many liters, Adam? Kita masuk barang.
I knew this question was coming because a lot of people always think, hybrid with hybrid batteries don't have much space. Well, there's 440 liters in here, so.
How many?
440 liters. So yeah, you can pretty much a lot of stuff inside.
440 liters of space in the boot of the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid.
And you
Cukup
have
tak? Cukup tak?
But also power tailgate, right?
Walk away, baby.
Alright, so we are now in the Corolla Cross. We are at Jalan Kelantan, Georgetown. We're going to head back to the petrol station where we started off in Klang Valley, which means we have 353 kilometers to go. So the range here on the Corolla Cross says that we have 237 kilometers to go. So the total average fuel here, according to the cluster here, says 21.2 kilometers, which is 4.69 liters per 100 kilometers. So yes, we're still keeping with what when Ferdy did the calculation, which is still under 5 liters per 100 kilometers. But yeah, it doesn't seem like we have enough fuel, but we're just gonna give it a shot anyway. All right, so let's go.
Oh, so on the way, we are about 2 hours and 20 minutes out from KL.
Yep, we're like in the middle of Perak now, not the KL side of Perak, more like the
Perak side of Perak.
Perak side of Perak.
Right, okay, fair enough.
So yeah, and we just checked, so to get to our destination, we should be, it's
222 kilometers. The range that is showing is 149.
Yes, 149 kilometers. But like when we set off in Penang, we were a bit like 100 kilometers short.
So it's dropping,
so it's dropping because we're on the highway and
we're cruising.
So hopefully we can make it.
Fingers crossed.
But anyway, let's not worry about that, because let's enjoy some of the great features in this car. For example, the lane departure alert and with steering assist. So what this does is, when you switch it on, it will actually alert you when you are going out of the lane. But not only that, it also will help steer it back into the center of the lane, which is a great feature added on to the alert that you're wandering off your lane, obviously.
Especially when you're cruising and you can sometimes maybe get a bit, you know?
Yeah, of course, it's a trance. Cruising is a trance sometimes. And, you know, you're looking at, wow, nice hill, Perak, right? Limestone, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know, so it's good to have this feature. And when it's coupled with the dynamic radar cruise control, perfect.
Okay, so I have to ask you, so I've driven it, obviously, I have my point of view. You've had it a bit longer than me.
Yeah.
What's the ride quality like with regard to the, you know, the suspension travel, with regard to the soaking up of the imperfections? What do you think?
Actually, that's one of the things I like about this car. It's about its ride and handling at the same time. I mean, like, okay, it's not a tall crossover SUV, whatever you would like to call it. Like I said, it's not the tallest, so it means it's got really good body control. But you know, just because it doesn't have a lot of transverse suspension doesn't mean that it's not pliant to.
And no, it's a comfortable place to be in. You know, it's not stiff. But it holds the body well enough when you're taking a corner or when you're going over humps and bumps. You don't feel it like, you know, it's just like rocking all over the place. You don't have that, right?
The body control is great, and the suspension is set up perfectly in between soft and hard for dynamic handling and comfort, obviously. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about this car. It's really, really comfortable.
Perfect for families, like that?
Absolutely, yes. Right. And yeah, over the period of time, we've been going through some bad roads, smooth roads, and to be honest, it just feels the same. Whatever road it goes on, it's just soaks it up. Yeah, that's one of the greatest features of this car. Good. Alright, so here's the status update. We've got about 40 kilometers to go, and the range is showing we've only got 19. So can this Corolla Cross do it?
So we've got 40 kilometers to go, and we've got half that in range.
19 kilometers, So maybe get someone on speed dial, but we'll see. We're gonna run it to the ground. Let's see if it does it or not. Alright? Stay tuned. So, the current situation we're at, we've lowered the windows,
we've turned up the air conditioning,
and the fuel gauge is at E, and it's fuel low.
And it says fuel low.
And I can't switch to any other readings here because this won't allow me anymore. So apparently we're 4 minutes.
Yes, we're 4 minutes from the petrol station where we have to refuel. Where are we though? We will give you an update once we reach the petrol station. Hopefully. Yeah. The anxiety, I don't think it's something I want to repeat anytime soon.
Yeah, it's almost like electric vehicle. anxiety.
It's range anxiety in a petrol internal combustion engine.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
it was a bit gnarly there for a moment.
But you know, just for you readers, we went through that.
Yeah. So in total, so what happened was that we are not at the end point of where we started at. Okay. However, though, we did do KL, Penang, KL. We did achieve that. We covered a total of 683 kilometers with 136 liter tank of petrol on the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid.
Yeah, obviously we're like about 20-30 kilometers short of
About
the
20 kilometers short, of where we initially started.
which to me is still bloody impressive.
Yeah, so you've watched the video. I mean, if you've reached this point, you've watched the earlier parts of the video where we've covered, you know, how comfortable it is, the driving dynamics, you know, some of the key features that we found useful, especially for long trips or even families. Is it mission success, mission accomplished? The answer is yes lah. Right,
I think so. I believe so. Yeah, because it's still, like I said, it's still an impressive thing that this car is doing.
Yep, and technically we did go KL, Penang, KL.
Yes, exactly.
So you know, we did achieve that. You know, not point to point, sure, but we did achieve it. You know,
and we were like, the aircon was on. We were cruising at the exact speed limit where it flies. So it's not like we were going at snail pace. So yeah, mission accomplished. I feel like
I mean
the
only part where we were like, you know what, we should turn off the aircon.
That was
just so we're conserving a bit more mileage was towards the end. You know, as we were exiting the highway. You know, so
because the car wouldn't even let us read what was going on anymore.
Exactly.
Any button, it is. So I was like, let's just be safe.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I think so. What a machine this is.
Onwards to the next one.
Yep, definitely good.
Should we do a fuel challenge again?
Maybe we'll do an EV just for our experience sake. Now we've done it in a hybrid. Maybe we should do it in EV,
Yeah, but you know, you can find a petrol station anywhere.
There'll be an extra
charging station. Okay.
Let us know if you want us to do it.
Till the next time.
Bye.
Ciao.